Hey everyone, and welcome back to MMA Alerts. First, let's talk about how Arman Tsarukyan treats Islam Makhachev badly in an interview. It's possible that Islam Makhachev left Newark, New Jersey with UFC gold around his belt. However, Arman Tsarukyan wasn't happy with how he did. After Makhachev won UFC 302, Tsarukyan talked about the champion's performance on a recent MMA Hour show. But when asked what would happen if he fought the version of Makhachev who fought Dustin Poirier on Saturday, he said, "Yeah, it would be very easy for me in that fight. I could have also pushed him too far because he was tired." You know, you can't do anything when you're tired, though. So if you're tired, you're done, even if you're very good at what you do. However, the UFC has not yet announced a date for the possible Makhachev-Tsarukyan fight. The top candidate thinks that the fight could happen in either October or November, if other fights that are coming up go as planned. As of now, it hasn't been proven. Here we are just waiting for the matchmakers. I believe they will wait until the fight between Bilal and Leon Edwards. Then they will figure out where the fights are happening. They need a major event, which is likely to happen in October in Abu Dhabi. And Jamal could be in the main event in October if he wins. Then we can fight in Madison Square Garden in November. The fight is likely to happen in October because someone got in a fight with Muslim fighters in Abu Dhabi. The way things are going, it seems like a Makhachev-Tsarukyan return will happen soon. Next, let's look at Jamal Hill's attack on Alex in the MMA community. In the MMA world, Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill don't make him very happy. After losing to Pereira at UFC 300, Hill wrote an Instagram post in which he criticized both Pereira and the MMA world as a whole. He wrote a long post about how he treated Glover with care after beating him at UFC 283. But after losing at UFC 300, both his opponent and the MMA community treated him very differently. I know I haven't said much about this, but I went to Brazil and grabbed your guy in one of the most unfair championships ever. And after did nothing but honor and show respect. I've never praised an opponent I beat, and after I slept Johnny Walker, I told my fans they were being rude. You all find this funny or cool because I was competitive and happy to be back after an accident that could have ended my career. Alex Pereira, you really set up a punch that you couldn't land without a weird, confusing moment. You also did some weakish, but that's okay because we'll fight again. And I won't take my eyes off of you until you're as stiff as Izzy left you in Miami. People in the MMA community didn't like the post, so he shared a video with $20,000 cash and told those who didn't like it to come to the gym. Hey, bro, don't care about that. In the end, bro, you can only talk for so long before someone starts to respond. You know what I mean? All of you who are talking about this fight want to talk about some fight-s. Let's talk about money. 20 bands, get to the gym. I have 20 bands for everyone that's talking on these posts and talking about this and that. Get to the gym, dude. Come get paid. I know you're poor and need it. When Jamal Hill wrote something on Instagram, Alex Pereira replied, "You reap what you sow." Chama Jamal Hill answered, "Yeah, remember that the next time you're across from me." So far, it's not clear if any fans have taken Hill up on his offer. Next, let's look at a big change in the situation with Conor McGregor. After the UFC 303 press conference in Ireland was canceled, there was worry in the mixed martial arts world that the fight might not happen. There had been no public news from the UFC, but Ariel Helwani said that the promotion had put out feelers to find possible replacement fights and opponents. Many people were worried about the fight because of this and stories that Michael Chandler had left camp to go back to Tennessee to be with his family. While on the MMA Hour on Wednesday, Ariel Helwani gave a report on what was going on. It's now 1:10 p.m. Eastern time, so I could say that there is a lot of hope that this fight will go forward as of last night and this morning and early afternoon. If you ask me straight up, and I'm the only one doing it, is Conor McGregor going to fight Michael Chandler on June 29th right now? Yes, that's my answer. Do I know what's going to happen tomorrow right now? What's going to happen tomorrow? What do I know about an hour? No, but the mood right now couldn't be more different from Monday and Sunday. That kind of optimism couldn't have been stronger than what I heard those 2 days. It's so much higher now, and I think there's a lot of good feelings and hope that everything will work out. Along with Helwani's positive report, the T-Mobile Arena is advertising the McGregor-Chandler fight. This gives fans confidence that there hasn't been any cancellations behind the scenes, since the arena would be one of the first to know. Helwani only sent a nose emoji in response to T-Mobile Arena's most recent tweet. You can find out more about UFC 303 from Conor McGregor. He also shared a picture of himself in a doctor's office on Instagram with the caption, "Flexing emoji MMA fans are guessing." And one doctor wrote a possible reason for the cancellation. This is what I think happened. The weekend, Conor got hurt for no reason, so he had to use crutches, a boot, and a sling until he could see a doctor. Because you can't go to a news conference in a sling or boot, etc., they call it off. He is then fully checked out, and he fears that our lesson that it was just a scare and everything is fine has been learned. Now that things have been cleared up, it looks like everything is set for June 29th in Las Vegas. Now let us watch as Luke Rockhold and Sean Strickland fight and then fight again. After beating Paulo Costa not long ago, Sean Strickland has made it clear that he won't take on another fight unless it's for the UFC title. For whatever reason, Strickland and Luke Rockhold might get into a fight soon behind closed doors. While on the Jackson show not long ago, Rockhold made fun of Strickland and said he would fight the former champion again if it meant returning to the UFC. The talk to the press might be better than the fight. I really dislike that person. He's like, what do you know? I know that a lot of people hate me when they look at me. Every time I see this kid, I see his face. It's really gross. Sean Strickland is just a fake little. He's someone I don't even know. These days, I don't think he believes what he says. It's just him going on and trying to like, hey, Dana gives me that pass for the hall. I'll go inside. I am going to step on that kid's face. Strickland responded quickly on social media by writing, few things I fought you one round. You got up and ran off like a... People saw this happen. It was also planned that we would fight. That was an easy way for me to make money. You pulled out a few weeks ago. Too much. I'll F you up just for fun. In his second film, Strickland went after Rockhold again and said he would hit him if they ever saw each other at the Ruka gym. There's no way you can live near me and talk trash. And don't think I'll hit you in the face. There's no need to fight. That's okay. But I'll see you at Ruka. I'll see you in the parking lot. I'm going to hit you in the face. You also look like the type of person who runs his mouth, gets hit, and then calls the police. But you're such a proud mother that I would likely plead guilty to a misdemeanor. Hit you hard and watch your head fly off the ground. When someone in the MMA world made a joke, that Strickland replied, well, you couldn't pay him to show up. This made them wish they could be a fly on the wall at Extreme Couture for a possible run-in. The UFC tried, haha. As of now, Rockhold has not replied. He did, however, participate in karate combat not long ago and knocked out Joe Schilling before calling out Lyoto Machida. Because of this, it doesn't look like he will be going back to the octagon anytime soon. Next, let us look at UFC fight news. Today's fight news follows up on last weekend's UFC 302 show. First, there are 3 new fights on the July 13th UFC Fight Night Denver card. Reports say that Drew Dober and Mike Davis, Andre Petrosky and Josh Fremont, and Macy Barber and Rose Namajunas will now fight on the show. The main event will be between Dober and Davis. In the Dober-Davis fight, Dober will be trying to get back on track after losing to Renato Moicano, and Davis will be trying to add to his 4-fight win run that ended with the submission of Nathan Levy in March. Before the fight between Petrosky and Fremont, Petrosky was knocked out in 2 straight fights by Jacob Malcone. Fremont, on the other hand, will be looking to get back on track after losing to Roman Kopylov in September. And finally, in the main event fight, Macy Barber will try to build on her 6-fight winning run. Her most recent win was over Kedlin Sermonera in March, and Namajunas will try to build on her win over Amanda Hevis in March. The next month, on August 3rd, 2 new fights were added to the UFC Abu Dhabi card. Azat Maxim would now fight CJ Vergara, and Victoria Dudakova would now fight Sam Hughes. Maxim is trying to get back on track after losing to Charles Johnson in February, and Vergara is trying to get back on track after losing to Aisu Almabiev in March. When Dudakova fights Hughes, she wants to make her career record 9-0 and avoid another loss. Hughes, on the other hand, wants to get back on track after losing to Yasman Haregi in February. Let's switch gears and look at Curtis Blades' take on John Zvias. Stipe Miocic. People in the mixed martial arts MMA community think that both John Jones and Stipe Miocic will stop after their fight, win or lose. The fight hasn't been officially set up yet, which is why the upcoming UFC 304 interim heavyweight title fight between Curtis Blades and Tom Aspinall could very well lead to the winner becoming the undisputed king. Blades recently talked to MMA Fighting about his thoughts on the fight between Jones and Miocic. I really believe it. He'll have to show us we're wrong, because I think that's what he thinks. A lot of guys believe that. It's clear that we talk about these things at the gym. From the point of view of other fighters, coaches, and people in the MMA world, I haven't heard anyone who really thinks he's not going to quit, which makes sense since he would. What else does he need to show? Wealthy, he is well known. He is the GOAT, as you said. That can't be denied. Anyone can see him on Mount Rushmore. I just don't understand why he's back in the cage after the fight with Stipe. It's also said that he thinks a fight with Tom Aspinall will be harder for him than a fight with John Jones. It's still unknown if Jones will actually quit after his fight with Stipe Miocic, so it will be interesting to see what happens in Manchester and how the fight in between changes the division. Next, let's look at Dustin Poirier breaks the silence on bad news at UFC 302. Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev put on a show for the fans. They fought for almost 25 minutes, and many people think it could be the fight of the year. When the fight was over, Poirier went on social media on Wednesday to let fans know about his injuries. He wrote, "Nose is broken bad, rib is broken, and my ACL is partially torn, fight to live." Poirier also showed an x-ray of his broken nose and wrote "Nosio Anal" on it. A fan asked Poirier if it was the knee in the middle from the chant that broke his nose. In response, Poirier wrote, "Knee hit my face, which made the situation even clearer. It was the hit to the head. Even though it was an accident, it hurt." Poirier told fans after the loss that he might never fight again, but he was also given an indefinite medical suspension until an ent clears up his broken nose and an orthopedist clears up his left knee. This means that even if the Diamond decides he wants to keep fighting, he'll have to wait a long time before he can do so again. Arman Tsarukyan gets a message from Islam Makhachev. A few weeks ago, Islam said that Arman was just talking. He tries to fight, but he can't make himself stand out. Through words, he is trying to get people to notice him. He had a chance already. I beat him once. I think we need to beat him again. What people say. But the way he's been talking, Tsarukyan had better do what he says. Arman needs to shut up and work out. Dustin fought really hard, bro. I hope Islam puts this guy to sleep. Arman talks as if 3 rounds with Makhachev didn't make him tired. Everyone knew that Conor wouldn't make it to the fight. He can't stop drinking Coke. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for latest fight updates.